Impulse control disorder is if you have any kids or anybody has any kids, children have low impulse control. They say, I see something I like, some ice cream, I want it, I go get it. That's what we're speaking of when we say low impulse control or it's an impulse control disorder. We cannot integrate something in between the thought and the action, and that's impulsive. People do not lose impulse control overnight. They do not become addicted overnight. That's a very naive sort of conceptualization. People learn better impulse control over certain activities, certain objects, and lesser impulse control over certain activities and certain objects. The better it makes you feel, the less impulse control you're going to have over it. Ask any dieter. But it doesn't evolve overnight, so over time there's a practice of sort of not listening to my better judgment and acting upon that which I think or feel. Strong impulse control problems there develop and ultimately can turn into an addiction.
I'm Haley. I'm 22 years old. I have a daughter named Madeline, and I have a very wonderful fiance named Torin. You know where we're going? We're going to the playground. And I pull my hair out.
Look how thick your hair is.
Yeah, it was really nice. When I started pulling my hair out, I was 16. I was pulling so much then. I got rid of most of my hair, and it was uncontrollable. I dropped out of high school because I couldn't learn, I couldn't think, I couldn't concentrate. Ow! Oh my goodness. Ow. See, my scalp hurts right now. Like it hurts from pulling my hair out last night. It's like sore.
When she pulled her hair out, it made me sad. It made me very sad. I felt bad for her because society is harsh. And if you don't have hair in society, you're a misfit.
And I'll grab a hair like this. Like this hair right here. And I'll eat my follicle. It can go on for hours. The reason that I like to eat it is because it's gooey. It's like wet. It's weird, and I like sometimes run it across my lip like this. I have to eat it if I see it. I don't know why.
The more serious potential consequences of trichotillomania can include infections from people pulling and causing scabs on the skin, but also when it is accompanied by swallowing the hair, can be associated with bezoars or hairballs, which can be potentially fatal.
When she goes behind the bathroom and closes the door, I do worry about her. Her pull session might be, an hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 if it's really bad.
I would fill up an entire floor almost with little speckles around me. It's devastating.
Why do some of us fall in love with fire? The way it moves, changes, threatens. What forms can a fascination for fire take? From an innocent curiosity for fire shared by most children.
It gives you like a tingly feeling, you feel really nice. It just makes you feel a bit good and like lets all your anger out.
to the psychopath serial arsonist who has an obsession to set destructive fires.
He could have set 10,000 fires in his life.
It's the pleasure of the fires, the heat and the smoke and the smell, knowing it could get out of control at any time.
This film journeys into the many forms of pyromania. The state of mind when one doesn't set fires for revenge or money, but for the simple love of fire itself.
In tonight's CBS 19 special report, a look at kleptomania. Now, it's not a clinical diagnosis, but it's a very real addiction, and it's ruined the lives of a lot of East Texans.
CBS 19's Courtney Friedman talked with a recovering kleptomaniac about her secret addiction and what made her want to turn her life around.
Kleptomania is a hard addiction to tackle. It's easy to hide, and the reasons behind it can be difficult to understand, even for the addicts themselves. Angie Elkins dealt with the problem for years, but now she's proud to say she's a recovering kleptomaniac. For Angie Elkins, stealing was like a drug.
I started taking things from the store, and I would get a high from it. When I got the high, it just made me want to do it more.
She quickly became obsessed.
Start out every once in a while, and then it became, oh, well, I gotta do it.
The list of things Angie became addicted to stealing was virtually endless.
Oh gosh, anything. Clothes, jewelry, underwear, I mean, food, anything.
Addiction counselor Dwayne Cox says most kleptomaniacs steal things they don't even need.
It's the action that's involved. That's where they get their high. That's where they get their escape. That's where they get to disconnect from reality, just as you would if you used a drug.
Sometimes I had money and I still took things just for the high.
But Angie's reality check came the hard way.
I actually got caught. I got 3 charges against me for theft, and I spent time in jail. And that's where I hit my rock bottom. And I realized then that it had to stop.
If she didn't stop then, she knew there would be no going back.
1 more charge and I go to prison.
I wish it were different, but what drives people to want recovery from kleptomania for any compulsive behavior or addictive behaviors is negative consequences.
Today, Angie is thankful for those negative consequences because they forced her to get help.
As soon as I got out of jail, my husband and I started coming to Celebrate Recovery.
Celebrate Recovery is a faith-based support group for all kinds of addictions. Angie says the hardest part of her recovery was facing the hard fact that she was a kleptomaniac.
It was very embarrassing, and I just didn't want to put my garbage out there for somebody else.
She didn't think she could handle admitting the truth out loud.
But once you do, and you go through the steps, and you admit your wrongs, and you receive the forgiveness, there's nothing like it.
Coming clean and moving forward with her life gave her a better feeling than stealing ever did.
It's a much different high, but it's a much better high.
Recovery has taught Angie how to fight the urge to take things that don't belong to her.
I don't take a big purse with me anymore. I take this very small little purse so that I can't put anything in it. And that's because I still have triggers.
Angie says she won't give up on herself.
I can overcome it.
And she says other kleptomaniacs can too.
There is a place that you can come to. There are people out there that will help you, and you can make it. I made it, and I came out on top.
Angie tells me she has a sponsor through Celebrate Recovery, a person who checks up on her and holds her accountable. She says knowing someone cares has made all the difference. Back to you.
Interesting story. Thanks, Courtney. Now, in recovery, kleptomania is treated the same way as any other addiction.
The goal is to stop the obsessive behavior and then deal with the underlying issues causing the addiction.
Holy shit. All this money on me, and I come take it from a G. All she tryna do is get naked. And she gon' shake it like a red nose, like a red nose. And she gon' shake it